What's up, party people? This is Tegan, and before we get into the show here, I wanted to take a moment to highlight some of the new changes that you can expect to see and hear from us each week. Well, as a team, we believe that one of our biggest strengths is the wide variety of games and content that each of us enjoys to consume and create. So instead of just talking about these things each week, we're incorporating more live elements into the show. So we know that a lot of you listen primarily to the audio only version of the podcast, so we didn't want to leave you behind. You can still expect to hear discussion of what we've been playing and perhaps the news that's grabbed our attention. But now that's only half the show. So the rest of the show will be more of an impromptu game session with one or more of us playing and talking to chat on Twitch, which you can find on our Twitch and YouTube channels. As we incorporate more live elements into the show, you will hear us responding to chat a little bit more. We're going to do our best to offer context to make the show the best it can be for both audio and video listeners. But the recent outpouring of support for the show, especially as we've been going through these changes, has meant so much to us, and we appreciate each and every one of you, whether this is the first time you're listening or if you've been with us for a while. So you can find all of our links on our website at partyinvite.games, and we'd love to hear your feedback. It helps us grow. So thank you for making this community great, and we hope you enjoy the show. It is time for the Party Invite Show, where we strive to bring people together to play, discuss, and enjoy everything video games. I am your host, Tegan, or Thomas. You can call me whatever you want. I have many names. Tonight, I am joined by the one, the only, Chris Mowry.
Hey, what's up?
We got Vilos.
That is me.
And Sovereign Sid.
Hello, friendos.
And today, on this week's show, we've talked about it a couple times, but for those just joining on Twitch, we're transferring from just a podcast-centric show to really covering all of our video game bases. So we've got a lot of stuff in store for you. First, we've got news, the stuff that we normally like to talk about. Today, plenty of Pokemon. After that, we're going to talk about what each of us has been playing. And then we're going to wrap up the show with watching Chris play some Greedfall, which you'll hear about before we go into that. But y'all, let's just jump into the thing that has been blowing up the internet today. Let's talk about Pokemon.
Just could have sworn you were going to say Lechonk.
Lechonk.
Just Lechonk.
So I told you guys this before the show. I have an article from Polygon that I have not read at all yet, but I've got it that we can check notes on. The article is like everything you need to know about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And there's a ton of information in there. I thought I was going to cruise in and just see some blurbs and blips. No, it's a whole dang encyclopedia of this announcement that we've gotten. So I basically know nothing except what Chris knows, which is that there is a big old chonky pig named Lechonk.
That's all you need to know.
And the internet loves him. You know?
And just to be precise, he is not big. He is a baby.
He's a little
He's
bit.
baby.
He's
I mean,
a little boy.
He's a little pudgy, you know?
Although it is funny, they put his stats up and he's like 22 pounds.
Oh,
he's like this big, but he's 22 pounds. But yeah, for those of you that missed it, there was a pretty fantastic video released today over Scarlet and Violet, and we got a decent amount of information, and of course, what looks to be a more realistic look at actual gameplay. Because we've been wondering, is it going to have a little bit more of Legends Arceus kind of playstyle, or is it going back to Sword and Shield? And it's a little bit of both so far. But the big thing is we saw 5 new Pokemon. The first 3 is Pawmi, who is a literal Pikachu clone. I have no idea how that one's going to work, because literally all the information that we got was that it's an electric mouse.
yeah, it's just the electric rodent of the region. They all have one.
Yeah. But specifically, it actually says almost the exact same thing that Pikachu's Pokedex said about like rubbing his cheeks and stuff. So it's like,
what?
Interesting that you went that far, because I feel like we've had Pachirisu and stuff like that, but I feel like it hasn't been like so in your face since uh
Well,
Pulse and Manon, I think.
I think Dedenne was the last time they actually mentioned like cheek pouches
Yeah,
because its signature move was nuzzle, which they rub their cheeks on stuff. So,
that's true.
oh hey Odie, see look, you there? We're together.
Oh, that's good. He mentioned the baby black pig at the beginning of Wind Waker, which I thought of too. Just
Yeah,
the
that is definitely a Lechonk right there.
Lechonk.
Lechonk reminds me of, I don't know. So this is probably like aging myself, but there is a game for the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, called Tomba,
Yep.
and it reminds me so much of those pigs.
Hmm.
Also the pigs from Maple Story, but Tomba pigs, definitely like that nose. That's totally Tomba.
Totally
But
Tomba.
But trees.
All right,
I don't know if you wanted to play the video or not.
I am right now putting up the original announcement trailer from 3 months ago, which is mostly just like, fun and not informative at all.
Oh, that was such a good trailer. Oh,
But yeah, we got that rolling right now.
Was a security guard looking for pokies?
mm. I heard there were some kids and some ne'er-do-wells in here. Let me just look around. I don't know why he sounds like that. That's
I was about to say it's a little off, but
well, I mean, if he's from Osaka, because like commonly in Western,
Farm Town, yeah.
Western dubs of Osakan locations, they'll give them like a country drawl. So Osaka is considered basically the Japanese South.
True.
That's funny.
So I don't know if we'll get to all the videos, but we also got Smoliv, which a lot of people fell in love with.
Small of his baby.
He's got this super sad face, the crinkly mouth, and just the ghosty eyes. He's just this little depressing olive. Basically,
Imagine a green
clone.
Whismer, but sadder.
Yes, exactly. There was some fantastic fan art today, and the one I saw that was really adorable had Smoliv with Badu and was it maybe a cherubi, I think, and they were all just like squished together, and they just looked like these cute little fruits, and just man, people
I'm gonna have
went
to see that picture. That seems adorable.
people went absolutely wild today on the art for many reasons. Um, and I'll go ahead and let you go over whatever you want to go over before we get to any like real in-depth stuff.
Well, what I really am interested in is finding out. So we all got a peek at the professors or whatever during the trailer. They're fucking hot. Just gonna put that out there. So
As you
like
are.
once they hit Juniper, they were just like, you know what, we're tired of old people. Until Magnolia came. But then Sonia took over from Magnolia. So they still kept up the hot. They still kept it up. So I wonder if they'll actually meet each other or if it's kind of like a B and Alistair situation or Melanie and Gordy situation from Sword and Shield. Because depending on which version you had, there would be different people in
Yeah, I
the
do think
game.
I think it was confirmed somewhere today
So like what they'll be actually you can meet
that
them
it'll
both, but only one will be
that
your.
it'll be version specific.
Oh, I know that the professor that you'll get is version specific, but I was just wondering if they'll interact at all with the with the people in the game. So I don't know how it works. Does one actually take place in the past, or does one actually take place in the future, or like how's it working? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, because what the website says is in Pokemon Scarlet you will meet Professor Sada, and in Pokemon Violet you will meet Professor Turo. Each is carrying out research into certain lore passed down in the region.
But I love churros.
Boo. Well, I mean, that's kind of sad if they never actually meet and interact. Because, ooh, what if there was like a time machine sort of deal? Because I mean, it's past the future themed or whatever. So what if through the time machine you could like meet Harlow? Stop. If you could meet or talk to the other professors, they won't be your actual professor that gives you your starter or whatever. But I just feel like it's sad that there's a whole character that we don't get to interact with.
That's true.
So these ones that were released today, Smoliv, Lechonk, and Pommy, they are not the starters. The starters were the ones that they showed in that Goofy trailer. It was like a duck
Quaxley.
Waxley.
Waxley. Yes.
Waxley. I love it. I love it.
Jesus. Yeah, and those other two.
And then
The ones that aren't ducks.
the
Sprigatito
chili.
and Fuecoco.
What
Yep.
about a springy Cheeto?
Spring.
Why are you gentrifying this
Sprigatito.
country?
All right, so now we're
I mean,
officially.
this is crazy because it takes place in Spain, and Chris is over here colonizing and stealing the spices and changing the name.
I said churro and then springy Cheeto, which I don't think are.
Okay, so now we're officially into the Scarlet Violet videos. So
There we go.
see them. So yeah, you've got Sprigatito is officially, they are showing the actual size of the Pokemon in this video, and it's amazing.
Teensy
Mostly
tiny.
because Sprigatito is so fucking small, and Fuecoco there is a little bit larger.
Fuecoco. I like that one.
Yeah.
Is it a hot
So-
chocolate bear or something?
Yeah.
He is a dragony thing, a dinosaur.
I think it's a crocodile.
Yeah.
What?
Crocodile.
It has fue in it. That's half a fuego. Was it a
Yes.
fire
Yeah,
crocodile?
sure.
A fire crocodile, yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. All right.
It resembles kind of like a ghost pepper almost. So people are really speculative about like how it'll look when it evolves.
Wow. Ghost and
Especially
fire
since
type.
there's like a whole like theory about it, which people are really, really trying to squeeze it into. So
Like, how do you not just have Quaxley and Lechonk and just carry them the entire way? Don't evolve them, just make them amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are absolute quality. These are really great designs. I think Sword and Shield had a couple really good ones, but I think we're starting off really nicely here. And then we've seen a ton of different Pokemon in this new trailer from a lot of different generations, so that's fantastic. We got a few of the big ones that people love, like Gengar. One of my personal favorites with the Fletchling series, including Talonflame. Like some good stuff. And
I
that's
saw Flappy in there.
yeah, Flaffy, that's a throwback and a really nice one at that. And right here, as we see in the video, we've got our two legendaries, which are
Oh!
They're
ridiculous.
so good. They're so good.
So damn cool.
One of them's a
Look at
motorcycle, and the other one is also a motorcycle.
They
Yes.
both are, yes,
Oh!
in different ways.
I think that Miraidon is going to be more like a light bike because it's got those jet engine thighs.
Yeah,
Wow. Finally.
yeah,
It's
because
future.
Pokemon.
we've got Miraidon and Koraidon, and as Sav has alluded to, the it's been proven that those particular prefixes are for ancient and future. So that's very intriguing. The rumor, and it's very obvious looking at these guys, is that we'll be able to ride them at some point. So that's awesome. Who doesn't want to do that? Come on.
Deadpool in chat. Jet engine thighs. Never thought I'd hear that sentence. Yeah.
Also, context is very important here.
You
With that question.
what if they come out with a DeLorean Pokemon and that becomes the time traveling Pokemon?
I mean, we have Duraludon.
Oh,
Close
how
enough.
could I forget?
He does look like that already. That's for sure.
Wow.
I just wonder, like, when they go into their very obvious bike forms that they're going to have, are they going to go like, like, are they going to make the noise? Or is it going to be like completely vehicular? Or is it just going to be like the, whatchamacallit from Legend of Zelda, the ancient cycle or whatever that looks like a horse? It's gonna
Oh,
look
yeah.
Oh, I
bad.
forgot about that. Oh my gosh, what if they release DLC where Link is now riding one of the legendary Pokemon?
Oh no.
So now
Or his name will be different.
That'll be the Breath of the Wild 2 legendaries.
So they are going, like, all of them are now like open world, and you can kind of sneak up and do that. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, you can sneak up, and it gives you a better chance at grabbing the Pokemon on the first attempt on a Pokeball.
Yeah.
But it was unclear when we were watching it. A lot of people had done analysis videos today already. But yeah, it looks like they're not quite doing what they did with Legends Arceus. But right
Open
here,
world-ish, hub worlds.
but we are seeing these friends here. 4-player co-op.
I mean, that just screams party
No.
invite night. We gotta
that a
get
trade?
together and do
That
that.
is
Is that a
pretty
trade
cool.
that just happened?
Yeah, that was a
Mhm.
trade that just happened,
Uh,
and that
You literally
confirmed
just
the
yeet into the sky, just like, I want you no more. Yeet.
So
Chris, do you have a Switch now? Do you have a Switch these
Nope.
days? Okay, well I just sold
Wow,
mine. So
disappointing. Oh, wait, what?
well, I didn't sell it, but I gave it to my buddy as a wedding present, so I don't have it anymore. Lizzie has a Switch, so technically it's possible for me to play, but
Sav's gonna get you.
we've lost her.
You're
I'm
in
just
trouble.
gonna take myself out. It's fine. It's good.
She's gone. She's in that Stranger Things trance or whatever.
Oh no.
I've only seen the first episode of that, and it's
It's
something.
it's
Whew.
where you're
It's
stuck
good.
leaned over and you go, you do synth noises with your mouth. You just do. I was gonna do it, but then it just sounded like the Twilight Zone theme song. So, use your
Just do like
imagination.
the AOL dial-up sound.
Yeah.
So Odysseus says he's going Scarlet all the way. I cannot agree. I am definitely Violet as far as what I can tell.
Yeah, did you see that, Professor? Oh God.
Get
I
into
mean,
that.
but purple. Obviously, that's the reason I'm going.
Obviously.
Not the Professor.
That's funny.
Either
So that's
way,
though.
either way, we still get our rival Nimona, who is like already 1,000 times better than Hop in Sword and Shield was. So she looks like she might have a better attitude. She might actually be a better trainer, which is very important here.
Yeah, she looks competent. And she's
For-
cute too.
Exactly. For anybody that played Sword and Shield, like holy crap, was Hop the absolute worst person to be your rival? Like,
I
it's
don't
like,
know though. That double kind of put some work in.
I mean, it was the only one. Double was his entire team because Hop was this child who is just already destined to be the second kid in the family. Like his brother's literally the champion, the coolest fucking guy ever, the hottest guy ever in that generation. And okay, we can talk about the trainers, but like literally everybody loved Hop's brother Leon. And when it came to fights with Hop, he's just like, I'm going to do my best. It's probably not great, but we're good friends. It's like, I hate you, man. Like,
for all the terrible, all the flack that he gets and stuff, and he doesn't really make a good rival, but he makes a good character for sure.
oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of his confidence issues comes from the fact that he is in his brother's shadow. He's always that second fiddle. It's kind of like Luigi and Mario.
Oh yeah.
And so when you defeat him for like the final time or whatever before the championship battles, and you like literally break his heart because like his dream is being crushed like in real time, like that hit hard. That hit me. I was like, ouch! I'm the rival.
Yeah, that was a moment. I do think that was great. But he didn't have that glow up that you would expect either. For just because there wasn't that much in game. Although I didn't play the expansion, so I don't know if he even did anything else after.
Well, I think what he did was became well, spoiler alert, kind of. He became Sonia's assistant because he decided that if he wasn't going to, excel in battling, like he's still super smart about Pokemon. He's very knowledgeable about Pokemon, and so he was like, maybe that's the path I need to take. So maybe, what would be really cool? Besides seeing Hop in the future game, there you go. I was going to say, it's Carlos's camera.
The button.
But it would be really neat if we, it seems like technology's really evolved in the new region. Which, did we get a name for it yet? Do we know?
No, that was the other thing that we just missed for some reason.
Well, whatever it's called.
Chris, what would you name the new region?
Aganoxy.
Wow.
You had that in the
after
chamber.
Kansas.
No.
I mean, at least Leavenworth, where I'm from.
First thing that popped in my head.
But
Don't
if
know
you really
why.
need to see anyone from the past games make an appearance here, especially since time seems to be, a factor. And I wonder how that'll play with Pokemon Home too, because Pokemon Home just updated and you have access to, Legends Arceus, bringing those into Pokemon Home and stuff. So are we going to be able to see Hisui? I mean, we are going to see Hisui and Pokemon in Scarlet Violet, but like, how is it going to go into the story, and how are fossil Pokemon going to work? Like, since the whole thing is time, so
Mhm.
and it's calling into question how will the timeline work? Where in the timeline is it? Are they two timelines converged into one, or is one, like I said, the past and one's the future? Kind of like how Black 2, White 2 had like the ancient
Ooh.
village or the futuristic village, depending on which version you're playing.
Days of
Like,
Future Pokemon.
right.
Zelda Oracle of Ages. This is
the
what's
end, the end of to Monster.
Yeah.
happening.
So I'm just really
Maybe that would be the
intrigued.
start of the generation that's Pokemon X and with the X-Men and the Y-Men.
Wow.
It's a whole. It keeps going. There's lots of time stuff. They lost a lot of people when the franchise took that turn.
Yeah.
It does lend itself to some cool ideas, and I'm excited.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
So,
even the professors fall into the theme too. Like, our friend Nerd Meat was asking in our community on Facebook, why does this professor have fangs? Well, it's because she represents the past, so she's kind of feral. That's why she's got like the kind of caveman tunicky look going on with the fangs on her necklace and like the catra hair. Her name is Sada, which is derived from pasada, which is Spanish for past, and then Turo is futuro, the future. So that's the designs are inspired by the theme, and so they're really going hard with this whole theme thing. And
dang
I just wonder how far it's going to go.
too far. I hope.
You know what? Time always does. Like when it's in the media, time travel and stuff, it always goes too far.
Yep. Yep.
We just need that breaking point.
Well, this is exciting because I haven't seen. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I just like that there's a Pokemon called Lechonk and Smoliv. Vilas, I think you had pointed out, it's just like whoever, or what did you say? But it was like,
it was the localization team knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And that's been the case for a long time, but I think the past 2 or 3 generations, the naming convention has just been so fantastic.
I don't know. I'm thinking about like Scorch. They definitely could have done better with that.
But there's always something really cool about the naming of Pokemon, and putting it directly to theme like they have in this gen is really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Just like Arceus, or however I am saying it wrong. Sav, tell me how to say it correctly again.
I mean, it's evolved over time.
Oh, that's right.
Going with the theme. I think the official way is Arceus, is because that's how they say in Japan, Arceus.
All right, Arceus. And I don't do that. Well, this time I don't do that as a joke. I just genuinely can't keep it straight. So Arceus was definitely the most I've been interested in a Pokemon game in a long time, and I know there are a lot of people like that. I mean, I know Lord Chrome's in chat here, and I think he said the same thing. When this game came out, I was seeing friends play this and stream in Discord who I didn't know I didn't know Pokemon was even on their radar. And it kind of turned out that Pokemon wasn't on their radar until Arceus. So it seems like between that, matching what you had just said, Vilos, about the past 2-3 generations, leading into this, I mean, it seems fresh, I mean, it seems like a great time to get on board a franchise that's been around for 30-ish years. This is the 9th generation. Wow. I read, and that's a lot of Pokemon, y'all. That's a lot of Pokemon.
I don't think you can't catch them all now. It's an impossibility.
Oh, I think
pretty close.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure
you can't catch them all.
It's the like Victini, the very specific event ones that almost all of them have been re-released in different ways in different games. But
well, if you play Pokemon Go,
the shell of what Mr. Gift used to be. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I don't remember if I think Omega Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. I didn't remember if Victini had been one that came back.
Is Fake-Tini? Did you just make that up?
Post game of that. Victini was in Black and White, and there was a very specific event where you could get them.
Would you
Uh,
say that it was a teeny window of opportunity?
It is a teeny
Opportunity?
Pokemon.
Opportunity? I don't know. It's in there.
Opportunity?
there you
Opportunity,
go.
yes. That's the final. That's a mega evolution.
But yeah, with how home is right now, and I mean, Pokemon Bank and the transfer system went away relatively not that long ago, I guess. But home is really fantastic, and with the updates to that, like we can get a lot of the Pokemon, almost all
Well,
I mean, if you don't already have all of them like I do, then you're in trouble.
of them. Yeah.
okay.
Who wants to start this thing?
I tell you what, I'll get my stuff out of the way because it's short and sweet, and you guys have all heard it before. The first thing I want to talk about is actually Spelunky 2. I just picked up Spelunky 2 again. After having set it down, I've played it a little bit here and there, ever since I almost 2 years ago now. I mean, a year and a half ago, I was playing it once a week on stream. Hopefully until I beat it. That sure didn't happen. I have not. I mean, I'm not sure if I've come close to beating it. But it's a fun game with so much variability, and so I just picked that up again. Really, in the past week or so, I've been playing it about 30 minutes a day. I pick it up, and unlike Spelunky 1, there isn't a daily challenge for this one. You just do your regular adventure. So I can't like challenge one of you guys to the daily seated run, which I wish I could, but it's really not that big a deal. But yeah, I've probably played 4 of the past 5 days or something, and each time I've discovered something new. It's been fantastic. Let me. Oh, actually, I've got to press some buttons over here. There we go. It's been a lot of fun. Spelunky is a game that came out officially, I think, like a year and like 8 months ago or something. But it is a roguelike that looks cartoony, that's very, very difficult. Much like a lot of games I enjoy, like Celeste, death comes quickly, but so do the restarts. And yeah, as you can see in this video, I mean, you'll play in the same areas against the same enemies and all these things, but it's the combinations of those things that that make it so interesting. But yeah,
So you said you got the second one?
Yep. So Spelunky 2. It didn't come out recently or anything. I've just owned it. I have actually been playing it on PC and PS5. So this is actually the first time I've played my PS5 in a while. There's no cross save or cross progression or anything like that. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I can still play the way I want, and there are still so many secret areas and all these things that I haven't even discovered. That the only thing holding me back. Oh, you can see this. Actually, I'm gonna roll back and pause here on this video. You can see this map here when you open up your journal. You can see the different things that you've done on your run, and there are different ways you can go. So like once you get past the first area, you can choose to go to the jungle area, or you can choose to go to the fire area. And once you get past that, the choices compound. So there's a lot of hidden stuff. There are a lot of other pathways, but those aren't always shown to you directly. Those are like secrets that you've got to find. Or you may think there's only one way to find this door, but there's actually a different way you can find that door. And if you find that door, the secret way, then things are different from that way forward and all this. But this morning I was playing, and I found a new combination of levels. So like in any given area, there's a chance that it'll be dark and you have to carry a torch around. Or there's a chance that there'll be, it'll say the dead are restless, and there'll be a bunch of zombies and stuff walking around. Well, I found zombies for the first time in the fire area. I've probably put 50 hours into this game. maybe 40, and never seen that. So today I discovered a new combination of those things, but there's also new music that came with that. But that's a whole lot of fun. That's Spelunky. It's $20 full price on whatever platform you choose. It technically has multiplayer, but not really. They never patched the netcode to make it good. So like it has co-op. It's fine. It'll get you killed because the camera only follows one person. But anyway, that's that game is fantastic. IGN gave it a 10 out of 10 a while ago, and I wasn't sure I agreed with that. I really like that game, but after playing it this morning, man, the way it made me feel, I'm like, yeah, I think this could be a 10 out of 10 game. It's very, very hard, so expect to lose a lot if you play, but I highly recommend that game. The other
On
thing
Game Pass,
that
isn't it?
yeah, I think it is on Game Pass actually. Let me I'll look that up while we're talking. But the other thing I've been playing was with all of you, and that was Rogue Company. We had our very
Yeah.
first custom lobbies going the other day, and that was a ton of fun. So custom lobbies meant that we were able to do some goofy modes. In our case, it was melee only, or well, anything but guns, because we did throwables and grenades and stuff. But
That was a mess.
man,
It
that
was
was
man. Once Canon came out with that hammer, it was a wrap. Like
yeah, that was so silly. You know, for a while there we were doing 4v3, and I mean it is lopsided because it's 4v3, but you know, it was a silly good time, and the fact that we're all on comms together and you know, we're not playing super seriously made it that much better. But that was great. We've had a lot of people playing Rogue Company over the past week. I mean, on Memorial Day, you know, everybody was off and everybody was hopping in chat. We had our first full successful 6-stack. We did the 6v6 mode. We've played that a few times before, and it's been okay. But when we played it on Monday, that was that felt like what it was supposed to feel like. It felt like that's the mode that they intended, you know, for players. So it was nice to be able to experience that because even though we've had a lot of people playing 4v4 and stuff, I didn't have a lot of hope that we would ever see the 6v6 mode and enjoy it. I thought we might see it and we'd decide, okay, that was enough, you know, or that 6v6 is like, you know, what we have to play when there are more than 4 people and we can't play Strikeout anymore. This made me excited. Like I am excited if we have 6 people again to go back and play that team deathmatch. But that's really all I've been playing. It's been a lot of familiar stuff lately. Been playing a whole bunch of Don't Starve, but you guys don't need to hear me talk about that anymore. But it's been great. Just lots of hanging out in Discord and playing all sorts of stuff with everybody.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Rogue Company as well, but I wasn't going to talk about it because we have so much. But that I am really excited for that update that's coming this month to add ranked strikeout.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Let's get our squads up. Let's get good.
Squad?
Because yeah, it does do that random thing in this game where it just like kind of throws you. You're either getting completely wrecked or you're rolling over people usually, and then every once in a while you get put in a really good game. But I feel like at least with the ranked strikeout, it might match make a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's exciting. Who wants to go next?
I will.
Yeah.
So, offhand, since we were talking about Game Pass games, I'm just going to mention this offhand. I've been getting into Vampire Survivors just because Bowser has been playing. He got Game Pass for himself. And let me tell you, when I was watching that game, like people play that game, it was very unassuming. I was like, how is this entertaining? Honey child, play the game. You'll find out why it's so addictive. It's crazy because you're just moving your character, but it's all about like controlling your space. It's like very strategic. Like it turns out, it's really in depth. So go check it out on Game Pass or for $3 on Steam, which is well worth the price. They should have charged more for sure. But so that's just like an offhand mention. But one of the games I've been playing recently is Knockout City again,
Mhm.
and that is because what's today? The first still?
Mhm.
Yeah. So as of today, it went free to play.
Yeah, that's
So it is
exciting.
free to play now, and they released season 6. And what's really neat is that the people who purchased the game, you know, they already spent money on the game and whatnot before this date. And so they were like, we want to compensate you for the support that you gave us. We're not trying to, nix like oust you or anything. Like, ha, you spent money. That's it. Thanks for the money.
Yeah.
So what they did was they released gosh, what is it called? It's basically like a legacy pack. I think it's called Loyalty Royalty.
Hmm.
And it comes with like a whole bunch of cosmetics and stuff like unique to the people who had purchased the game beforehand. So I thought that was really cool because they're like really, really cool cosmetics. And I wasn't in the game long enough to like really get a grasp of like the new season, like what it brought to the table or its new theme or anything, because every season comes with a theme. So I only played around for just like a little bit, so I wasn't able to dive that in depth into it. But I'm looking forward to having like a new player base to play with. Free to play games, especially when they launch, they always have an influx of new players,
Mhm.
and I'm looking forward to all the content that's going to come out from that, and seeing some like fresh new perspectives and opinions on it because games like Knockout City, they're very niche. And so like the quote unquote top players or the biggest voices rise and become apparent very quickly. And then after that, it's just nothing but people seeking out their opinions and everything all the time. Kind of like how Smash Bros works, People don't think a thing is a thing until a big player says it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that with niche games too. So with this new player base and stuff, yeah, we'll still have like the big players to go to for the new players to go to like learn and stuff. But they don't have the bias of having played for so long with those people.
Yeah.
They don't have the inherent bias that, oh, I should listen to them and no one else. They'll be able to explore and figure out and formulate their own opinion, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Knockout City. Not much to say on that since, like I said, I haven't really dove into it yet. But y'all, let's get into this Roller Champions.
Hey.
Like, I know it's Ubisoft. They have their problems, but I'm not giving them any money yet. Besides that battle pass I bought. But
Oh my
other
goodness.
than that, I know. I mean, it was there. I had to. It's
I
battle
do.
pass. Cosmetics. It's cosmetics. I gotta get my fashion. I'll repent later. But Roller Champions, for those who are like the uninitiated, it is a roller derby, like a roller derby sports game with a ball. So
Like
imagine
murder
it.
ball.
Yeah, basically. I've described it to people as imagine Knockout City and uh, what's it called? Rocket League had a baby.
Mhm.
It also has like similarities to I feel to Super Mario Strikers.
Yep.
Gives me it scratches that same itch, and it's 3-on-3 in just like this ovular ring with walls, and so it's all about mobility and traversal, using your momentum to gain the upper hand, and most importantly, teamwork. Which, as a teamwork game, people forget, and you struggle and you suffer for it. But when you have that really good team that's working together, boosting off of each other because you can like slingshot off your teammates,
That's cool.
or slingshot jump off of your teammates as well. It's so much about controlling your momentum and your movement and working with your team in that way. Um, Once you get all of that down, then you're good to go. I mean, for for life, because it's a very basic game mechanically. It's like one of those games that's easy to pick up but hard to master.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Knockout City in that way as well. But the premise is you have the ball, right? And there is a goal on the side of the arena, kind of like that old Aztec game that you have to hit the ball through the hoop on the wall
I
that they
like
played in
El
like El
Dorado.
Dorado. Yeah.
Yeah. Jinx.
So you make your laps, and how many laps you make before you score determines how many points you get. So in order to open the gate at all, it starts out closed. You have to make one full lap, and it'll open up for a value of 1 point. And after 2 laps, it'll become 3 points. After 3 laps, it'll become 5, and that's when it maxes out. And you only need 5 points to win. So if you somehow manage to make 3 laps, you can insta win the game. And with the right amount of teamwork and using the traversal to your advantage, it's very possible. especially if your teammates can defend the ball or the ball carrier from the opponents. There's different attacks that you can do. You can pirouette in the air. There's tackles, air dives, and everything. Uppercuts somehow. I mean, y'all have to have some strong legs to uppercut on skates.
Right.
So there's just a lot of ways that you can defend as well. So it's not all about the offense. You need to have a solid defense in order to get anything of substance done, which is where the depth comes in. So, like I said, easy to pick up, very simple mechanically, but it's hard to master. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's free to play on Ubisoft Connect, and accomplishing achievements through their client will actually give you rewards in the game for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's free everywhere. I will say that I tried to play with some people that were playing it the other night. Can't remember who was in there playing. I want to say it was like Shanny and a couple others.
Shani
Checks
and
out.
Deadpool were playing, yeah.
Yeah, and it says it's crossplay, which you have to go into the settings and turn on. So you do, but cross console parties are not available. So not sure why. Not sure why. That doesn't make I understand that it's making games is difficult, but what's the point of playing crossplay if you're not being able to group up your friends cross-platform?
Yeah, it's like we added
Like, it kinda
crossplay
doesn't
so you
make
can
sense.
play with even more strangers, but not your friends.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Well,
I'm sure that's something they'll fix, but I was literally like set up and ready to go and ready to play the game, and then ended up not playing the game because I couldn't play with the people I wanted to play with. So, but yeah, I'm very excited to play it. It looks awesome. Yeah, big Road to El Dorado vibes, Rollerball, that very cheesy movie. Yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited to play it.
That game was also featured in what's it called, Bugs Bunny Through Time or whatever it was for the PlayStation 2. You actually travel back to like the old Aztec. I think it actually is El Dorado, and you actually play that game as Bugs Bunny, which is a hoot. But one
Nice.
thing to know about this game, Roller Champions, is that it is technically in early access still. I don't think they actually advertise it as early access because the Twitter just says we're coming to PC and blah blah blah, and all these platforms.
Mhm.
Like we're releasing it in early access, fine print. So
Guys.
parenthetical. So it is very early access still, and there are some kinks to work out. And there are ways that you can submit feedback directly via the client. So there's like a banner at the bottom you can click to submit a bug and whatnot. There's also referral friends prizes too. So the more friends that you refer, obviously they'll be able to get more feedback and be able to tweak the game and augment it for a better experience.
Nice.
But it seems like they're really putting a good faith effort to make this game good. I'm not really sure which Ubisoft studio is behind it, but I don't think it's the ones that are like under fire for like subpar whatever they're doing. So
Subpar
because
whatevers.
no, but I don't know like the odds and ends of it all. Like
Right.
but for an early access game, when it works, it's very polished.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about it. It's a good like time killer. If you need to do something for like 15 minutes or something, hop in, wait in the queue for 12 minutes, and then get a 3-minute game and you're good.
And it does have that nice little bit of aggression for you. If you just need to just beat the hell out of somebody, that's the game to play, because
Oh, for sure. Block some steam.
turn your shoulder into somebody and blow them away when they're about to score.
Yeah.
Oh
Very
yeah.
satisfying.
I can't count how many times I've been playing with I was playing with Shani and I think Deadpool. I could be wrong, but I was playing with them and I can't count how many times I've been like, got him, because I'm just tackling everybody and trying to protect them.
Yeah.
Feels good though.
You need good defenders.
Indeed.
But that's that.
And so it looks like it's to me last.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll do.
mine's a quick one.
We'll
Yeah,
hear
go
you
ahead.
talk about that, and then we'll have Chris talk a little bit more about Greedfall, and then we'll move into some gameplay.
We'll play it. Yeah. Transitions.
I played a little bit of Death's Gambit Afterlife. If you're not familiar, it's very much a Dead Cells style, not necessarily a roguelike, but it's more of a Metroidvania side scroller. Very interesting game. It had this huge Kickstarter or some other crowdfunding situation that it had. It ended up getting a physical release. It's actually published by Adult Swim Games, which is funny.
Yep.
It's got some really fantastic kind of gothic style art. Um, it's just a very well focused indie game. Uh, as most of you know, I'm my second favorite uh, genre of game to play is Metroidvania, and this kind of just scratched the itch just right to be between that roguelike style of Dead Cells and something like I've played the hell out of Smelter lately as far as the Metroidvania stuff goes.
Yeah.
You have different classes. I think there's 6 different classes that you get to choose from at the beginning of the game that defines your style, and then it's really just surviving. Um, every time you kill an enemy, you're picking up more health. Like it's very forgiving for a game of this ilk. Some really neat boss battles. I've only played the first couple bosses so far, but it's just a solid time. It's one of those games that you can pick up for 15 minutes, put it back down, and you're just fine to go to something else.
Heck yeah.
I look forward to getting really into it because it's all about death and your purpose for living. So it's got a very JRPG trope to the story of it, but so far it's very fun. It's pulling in some of the Hades vibes as far as the story is concerned. It's getting a little
gorgeous,
epic.
is what it is.
It is
Yeah, it
really
reminds me
pretty.
a lot of Blasphemous, like art direction wise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Death Gambit came
blasphemous
before.
without the
Oh,
crime.
did it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it plays incredibly well on Switch, so it's just nice.
So this is Death's Gambit Afterlife. You're saying that Death's Gambit, if it came before Blasphemous, then I mean it's got to be what, at least 3 years old, 4 years old.
I mean, it's been on the scene for 3 or 4 years now. Yeah, just
at
because
least.
it's small time.
Cool.
But yeah, I say have at it. I think it's been as low as $10 on the Switch eShop a couple times, maybe. But I grabbed it physical because it's got a really great physical copy. I think I actually did an unboxing on our YouTube channel for it. It comes with the full map of the game, as well as some cool stickers or something, I think. But yeah, it's very
What?
cool art direction. The physical copy is like $35 or $30 at like Best Buy and stuff. It's technically a little bit of a limited edition physical run, so if that's your jam, then I definitely say pick it up. But yeah, just another one of those games that just has its own very specific spot in my backlog. That's really all I got into lately because I am preparing to go through Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected, which is the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
How many hours
And
is that?
then that's only 8 to 10 hours.
Oh, okay.
But then
That's not bad.
I've got to get through Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country, which is the DLC for the second game that I have put already about 10 or 12 hours into that, and that is actually less DLC and more of a full game. So I've probably got another 20 hours of that because in less than 2 months, Xenoblade 3 is coming. So I got a little bit of game left to go before I can dig into that. But yeah, that's going to be my life for the next couple months.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then 70 plus hours in Xenoblade 3. It's
Yeah,
that's
right,
no biggie.
right.
I mean, when you get into a Xenoblade Chronicles game, you live there. That's your life now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
You move there and you get a house and everything. Well, a bot or a boat.
The community has literally not stopped talking for the last like however many 45 days or so that we've known that it was coming.
Something I like about you're joking about spending like 70 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles. Like I kind of admire that genre specifically because I feel like people really do play it in seasons. So you can be like, all right, I can like, instead of like Q1, 2, 3, 4, you've got like, oh yeah, at the beginning of the year I had my Xenoblade season, and then in the second quarter I had my Monster Hunter season, and then after that it was this and that. But yeah, it's nice to like Carlos. I like watching your backlog because it's like that flip flop between these massive games that you sink just a ton of comfort food hours into.
Oh
How
yeah.
I look into it, and then those, which when I saw that game, the game I thought of is Salt and Sanctuary, which is
Hmm.
just it's they're all the same genre and stuff. But as I was thinking, I was like, oh, that's fun, kind of funny because like Salt and Sanctuary, these are kind of like the spices in between, the meals of those bigger games. Uh,
That's true.
it really is just like, I want to just a little variety for a little bit. I'll dip my toes in this for a minute.
Exactly.
Well, Chris, you want to tell us a little bit about Greedfall?
Yeah. So I think it was like May, sometime like the middle of May. Um, Spiders is the name of the company, so I'm going to say that a bunch of times.
Oh,
Don't be scared.
gross.
Spiders is the name of the development team behind Greedfall. They released a trailer for Greedfall 2: The Dying World, just announcing that they were making it. And so I, when in 2019 when Greedfall came out, I kind of gave it a chance, and I was kind of bored by it, and wasn't that stoked on it. I was incredibly hyped for it before it came out, and I was like, I'm gonna buy this game. I'm so excited. Started playing it. I was like, ugh. And I think a lot of it has to do with the opening few hours of the game is like a ton of exposition dump and a ton of political talk. And it is like, oh God, can we just do something? Let me do something. Let me stop talking to people. Let me do something. But I will say, once I got through those first few, and like I did a completely different character. I think first time I was kind of sticking to like sword and gun combat, and then this one I'm more I'm doing magic, which ignores armor, which is love that. Anyways, so what is this? What is Greedfall? Greedfall is a game that's made by Spiders that was released, published by Focus Entertainment in 2019. Last year, sometime they released the Gold Edition, which was like an upgrade for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. So they released, the remastered version. And it's this team clearly loves BioWare games. Like that is very clear.
There's no
It's
doubt.
like Mass Effect and what's the other one? Dragon Age. It's very similar. Like you have companions, romance options, friends options, being friends with your the certain different factions and all that kind of stuff. Choices you do, changes that. Depending on who's in your party, things can go wrong or better. Just it really, like I said, it took me a little bit to get in, but I was at least on this time, I knew I was giving it a chance. So like I wasn't going to give up 4 hours into it and be like, all right, I'm done. I knew I was going to give it more time.
Yeah.
Now that I've given it that more time, how about like 18 hours more?
Oh wow.
This game
That's
rules.
fine.
I very much enjoy it. Once you start like understanding, it's very simple for the most part. Like it's very, run here, talk to this person, investigate what they're saying, go talk to another person, listen to what they have to say about the situation, go talk to another person, see what they have to say about it, then go report your findings to the person that gave you the mission. Then they're going to send you on another mission. All the missions are like 35 steps, I feel like. Some of those can be not always the most fun thing in the world to do, but I think like some of the storytelling and stuff is great. I'm pretty interested in the overarching story of basically I'm going to pull this this quote here from this IGN article that came out a couple days ago or a week ago or so, and it's sort of about two. but I'm going to drop the link here in the chat. But it says Greedfall's universe is a fantastical reimagining of the 17th century that explores the political and societal ramifications of plague and colonization. So basically, you're starting on this very proper continental land, and there's like this terrible blood plague that's happening. But you are to accompany your cousin to this new island that your people are colonizing, to see if there's any sort of a cure that can be found for this terrible blood plague, and help your cousin out as he is the governor of this new city that is there.
And the only cure to the blood plague is money.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So that sort of just like loosely sets it up, and you get there, and you got the ones that are like, praise the Jeebus. Our Jeebus is the only true Jeebus. These natives are terrible because they, pray to pagan gods and all these things. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of missions devolving into just societal differences, and you as this legate of this congregation is trying to be the in-between for everyone. So you're kind of like handling anything that would pop up. So you have like this group over here that's like very religious. You have these people over here that is mostly just merchants, and they're just trying to do their merchant thing. Then you have the people over here that are going to war. They're like alchemists, and they're going to war with the natives. And so you're like trying to constantly juggle all these political things that are happening, while having some like interesting combat and some like fascinating interactions with your party. You have up to 5 people in your party. You can only take 2 of them with you at a time, so you're kind of swapping them in and out depending on what you're going into.
Kind of like what's it called? Outer Worlds? I think they do that too.
Yeah. I'd say more closer to the BioWare games, where you are like in certain places you can see all of them and you can talk to all of them. But then when you go to the video just restart, that's so weird.
Oh, just don't mind me. Just messing up the video and stuff.
Don't worry about it. So you can. It was interesting. Like early on in the game, I was like going to go talk to this governor, and as I was, like, the native lady was in my party, Ciora, and she was like, "I don't think I can go in there and talk to him. Like, he wants to war with my people. Like, I can't go with you." I was like, "Huh, okay." So then I had to like switch back, go over and like change my party, and then go in to have the conversation. Otherwise, it would just be a mess, and I'm sure a huge fight would have broken out and things like that.
That's cool.
I wish I would have known this like right at the beginning of the game. There's a talent called Intuition that will actually unlock different ways of handling situations.
Man, don't you wish you just knew about that earlier?
If you would have just read the talents and the skills, you would have seen it. But it's like something you're like, oh well, lockpicking that's necessary. I need lockpicking. And somebody's like, yeah, you don't really need lockpicking because some gear will give you lockpicking, so don't worry about it. And you're like, Jesus, why?
Yeah, but I want to steal everything at level 1.
You can redistribute your points. I haven't. I've been going let it ride because that's just the way I play my RPGs. I don't ever respec in the middle.
My man.
But you can.
If it's broken, why fix it? That's what I say.
Right. Yes. Well, it's not broken. It's not like I'm having trouble. I'm just saying that it would have been nice to have that intuition early on when it's like, hey, let's make sure that we don't cause any trouble in this place. And you're like, yep, okay. And then you go up, you talk to the person, and they start getting very flustered, and your charisma check fails, and you go, oh shit. That probably messed up some relationship with some faction or some person, and I just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here the the combat can be played in real time, or there's a you can hit L1 and it'll put you in like a tactical pause, just how it was in
KOTOR?
Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And you could tactically sit there and be like, oh, I want to attack this person with this enemy with this enemy with this. Because I will say that this game is not perfect. It does have its, let's say, rough edges. Like I'll be like looking at an enemy and I'm like, perfect, the big enemy. I'm going to stasis him, freeze him so that some of his armor drains while I take out some of these other smaller enemies. Then I go to use the stasis and it goes to the person next to him. Or you know what I mean? It just like it's not the exact person I was aiming for.
Yeah.
And there's glitches. There's nothing that has broken the game for me. But I could see how it would break people's immersion. You would, you'll see people like the first one I noticed when I went, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Is I was running to this new city. I was like, cool. And there's like these little farmsteads like before you get to the major city. And I like looked over and the farmer got to the barn door and then just disappeared. So he entered the barn, but he just disappeared. Like they just didn't have the budget to put in that animation of him walking into the door.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it is a budget game. I would say it's like if you like BioWare games, you should definitely play this game. Because they are huge BioWare fans that were like, well, BioWare isn't making games like this anymore. So if you want that kind of game, Spiders is trying to deliver that. If you want to skip ahead a little bit, Thomas, there should be.
Well, see, funny. That's what I was trying to do earlier.
And then it messed everything up.
No, it looks like we're good though.
Okay. There's. I'll get into somewhere in there, Thomas. There'll be me messing around with some gear. The gear customization in this game is crazy. So you have like certain slots that you can on your like chest piece. You'll have like 2 or 3, and then like on your gloves you'll have 1, or your boots you'll have 1, and you can upgrade them by either like learning the crafting talent and doing that. Here you are, doing the crafting talent, or you can find a forge in a town, and they will just be able to build it for you with the components and with money. So you could either save your money and just do it with the components by spending the points to craft, or by going to the forge. But it allows you to like customize the way your character looks. And I think that more RPGs need this. Like, let me fully customize the way I look and like the component. Like, sure, somebody can have the old fillet chest, but it's not going to be mine because I changed it. And like even on the weapons, you can change the way it'll change the stats of it
Oh, wow.
by putting a different grip on it, and then there's like another piece to it that's like the end of it.
That's cool.
The pommel. Sorry. But yeah, it's like the stuff that they are doing in there, like it's so interesting. But it's like facial animations are like like, you know what I mean? It's not. There's no mouth movements are no bueno. But it's like as long as you can look past that and kind of look past some of that stuff and just be in there for the ride of the story, the fun crafting mechanics. There's some really, really cool stuff. And like skills don't come easy. Like you have skill points, you have attributes, and you have talents. Skill points you get 1 every single level. And the other ones you get you can also get skill points by finding skill shrines throughout the world. And the world isn't fully open. It is kind of hubs that are open. And when you're in there, there'll be like little question marks to be like, oh, I should go check this out. What is that? Go over there, check it out. Oh, it's a skill thing. You just earned a skill point. Sweet. That's great. Needed that. But then like your attributes, you will earn 1 every 2 levels. And then your talents, you'll earn 1 every 3. So it does become this like, you're like, oh, in order to get that thing I need to level up 3 levels. Like I have to make sure I'm knocking out all these missions in order to do them.
Right.
But But man, it like some of the environments are super rad. Like this is one of the towns here that we're running through. They look cool. Now what I'll say is, once again, it's a budget. So any palace you go into, every palace is going to look almost exactly the same with different textures. Like basically like the same set of stairs to get to where you need to go. So you won't, once you run into a palace, you go, okay, to get to the
I know
throne area,
exactly.
I just run up these stairs and I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, but the textures are all different. The same with the taverns, same layout every time. But I think it's to almost simplify the. You need to go to the. You need to go to the arena. Okay, well, whatever town I'm in, I just need to go to the tavern and run down the stairs and go to the right, and I'm at the arena. You know, like
Yeah.
I think it's sort of to simplify those things. But I know that with the success of the first Greedfall in 2, they're expanding all of this stuff out, and that's actually what I'm like. I'm excited to finish this game and see where it goes, because the story is kind of interesting, and it's all fantastical and fun and very. I remember the first time I played this, I went, this makes me want to play The Witcher, so I should play The Witcher.
Yeah, that's fair. As I'm watching this, that's the thought going through my head.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair to them at all, because a small studio putting this type of game together is super impressive, and like especially with the gear upgrades and stuff. Once you start getting into the interesting parts of the stories and like going down character storylines and actually learning stuff about this world that you're in, instead of going, man, all this politics is really boring. It's not boring if you know what's going on and who the players are. Like before, when you're just getting inundated with information, you're like, man, you're talking a bunch of fancy words and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Like once you get past that and you start understanding what roles are these people serving, what roles is this faction. So you have like your knots, which are like sailors. You have your holy folks that I can't stand because they're always just trying to cleanse the.
Always with the cleansing.
Always with the
It's
cleansing.
always cleansing.
I don't know. It's this was free for like on a bunch of things. I know it's free on Game Pass right now.
That's pretty cool.
And I know it was free on PS Plus, and this is something that I don't know why they chose to do this, and maybe it's because PlayStation didn't want. This has to be a PlayStation only thing. On every other thing, the Gold Edition is a free upgrade. So if you download, I believe if you download this game on Game Pass, you will get the Gold Edition. You can like go download the Gold Edition, and it'll be free. If you downloaded the PlayStation Plus version, the Gold Edition is not a free upgrade. Why? I have no idea. But I purchased the game when it came out, so I was able to get the free upgrade for my PlayStation 5. Not sure why or how they.
It seems like
suss
Sony
that
just
out.
has issues with those upgrades, right? Because there were issues with the Horizon PS5 upgrade. Like, not everything. I mean, Control got a free upgrade for anybody who already owned it. But, well, I guess it was free, though. So you didn't need to upgrade if you just gave out a free copy of the new.
Right, and I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning for it is, because like once since I purchased the game, the upgrade was easy. I just went in and downloaded it, and it was there.
Yeah.
And with the Gold Edition, you get like a free DLC and a bunch of stuff, but the game does look significantly better. A lot of the creatures and stuff in this game that I'm not showing off in this much are really cool looking, like the big special creatures that you find throughout the world, like the big random bosses that are kind of hidden in the world. They're fucking rad. They're like really cool looking. Like most of the creatures you just randomly stumble upon it's like a couple of wolves and a bear, or and you'll randomly stumble upon like thieves and things like that in the world. None of that changes that much, but it's when you get to some of the stories are very interesting. And like I was trying to talk to somebody. I think I was talking to Andrew. We had a party going on we're just in PlayStation 5 party chat while he was playing something, I was playing something. And he was trying to talk to me. I was like, hold on. Shit is hitting the fan so bad in the game. I can't listen to you right now. Like I got extreme, like I wasn't expecting it really. Cause I was like, well, the side stories are actually pretty cool. main story is it's all right. And then main story stuff started happening because I had progressed far enough,
Mm-hmm.
and like I just felt like I hit this giant peak in like the middle of the game, and I was like, whoa, what is the music started getting very intense, and like things were revealed that story wise I won't spoil, but I was like, that's interesting.
Drama.
That's interesting. That's interesting. 3 interesting things just happened.
Whoa.
And now it's like, now go run and take care of all that shit before it really goes bad. And I don't know. It's fun. I feel like it didn't quite get its due when it came out, and I think Gold Edition will help it a little bit just because it's the upgraded version. Like all of these that you're seeing, any of those ones that have like the 3 slots in the bottom left, those are 3 slots of upgradable items to customize the way that piece of armor looks.
That's awesome.
And the same with same with the firearms and stuff. Like the firearms can start looking really cool because you can change the handle of the gun and all this stuff. But like I said, those are like talent points, so you only get those every three or so levels. So it's not like you can be like, okay, I need to start specking this way. I mean, you can erase everything and start over again, but like it really does. If you started going one way and now you're kind of like, oh, I wish I would have. You just could kind of respec halfway through the game and just start over.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of, when I play RPGs, it's like, stick to the thing. You started it this way, just keep going.
Yeah,
You're on
yeah.
the ride now.
Man,
Just
that's
keep going this way.
good on you for doing that. That's like the hardest thing for me in an RPG. I always try to do it, never get very far.
Well, see, the interesting thing too is like it does on the respec thing, it's like you use a stone for it, which last time I checked, it said I had one of them. So that means I could have multiple respecs if I wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
And you never like, I'm a magic user, but you run out of magic power and have to use potions in order to use them. So sometimes in the heat of battle, you can't just keep firing off spells. You have to like swap to a melee weapon. So you're always using at least 2 weapons. So I almost feel like I should have maybe not gone melee and stuck to ranged and just done magic and firearms, and that would have maybe,
And you still
I
got
don't
that
know, but
respec.
that's the
Maybe you should try it out.
I might. Yeah, it's one of those, especially if I have like 2 different if I have 2 of those stones, then I can respec once, and then if I hate it, I can just go back to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can respec again to go back. But like I said, I haven't gotten to any of the romance stuff, but everybody that's in my party likes me except for like one person who also, by the way, I realized today, I'm 18 hours into this game. And I go, I only have 4 companions. I'm supposed to have 5. I did the mission today that gave me my other companion.
Oh no.
No.
So like I'm halfway through and I just got this other companion. And I'm like, wow.
Oops.
The fact that I can even, because it's like a side quest, all the other companions are kind of put in front of you in the main storyline. So they're like, you have to get them. But I thought about it. I was like, I probably could have gone through this entire game and never met that lady.
Yeah.
And I
Now,
would have
when you
only
say
had,
companion, by the way,
yeah.
Cortisol.
Chris, it
Yes.
sounds like, based on what you're saying, that like you and maybe other new players would have done well with like a get started guide. Like
I checked out. I checked out a couple YouTube ones, but I did it a little too late. I'd already kind of started the progress.
yeah.
It's
Like
like, ooh, I wonder if there's any good tips on the YouTubes. Oh, yep, sure is.
Yep.
Fuck.
Could have used those 4 hours ago.
it's a shame that it doesn't look like this has like any multiplayer capabilities because it's giving me some like very Shadows of Mordor, like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance vibes. Well, like non-isometric Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
So like it would
yeah.
be really interesting to play this with like other people, I think.
What I'm interested in with the second one that's going to be coming is they said that all of they're upping your companions to 7 from 5, and all of them can be playable. So instead of you just being locked into your main character, in combat, I'm assuming you will be able to switch in between all of the different characters, meaning you would have the ability to never have to respec because you would literally have all these other characters to play around with. And like each one of them has their own things that they do, you know. So that's fascinating to me. It seems like with a higher budget and this, you know, the success of the first game, that they're going to be able to do what you're supposed to do for a sequel, is like put that to good use, make it better than what it is. Like, I will say this is a very simple RPG, nothing too crazy going on here. Um like you'll see, I'm changing my clothes right now because I went into a place where the knots wanted me. If I was, it was only knots were the only ones allowed there, so I had to change my shirt and my cape in order to walk in there without being bothered. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's just one of us, no big deal." But it's like little stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh well, what if I just walked in the front door dressed how I normally am? What would happen? We just start a fight?" Like, it just sort of changes the way the outcomes of what could happen. I don't know. I think it's super impressive that you know, the studio like this was able to pull off something like this.
Yeah, it seems like it rewards being thoughtful about the way that you approach situations, but also allows you to just stumble your way into bad things, which I think is great.
I did it at the beginning of this video, and I cut it out. Is the lady's like, "Hey, let's be discreet and not hurt anybody," and I was like, "Cool," and I started running towards the spot, and like the villagers saw me coming, and were like, "Hey, you stop!" and like ran up and started attacking me, and I was
Halt, criminal scum!
"Damn it!" I was supposed to be being sneaky. But yeah, I'm kind of showing off some of the attributes and the talents and stuff here. It's pretty. There's a lot. Like, this is just attributes. There's the talents, but that's the skill tree, is the one that goes off in many different directions. And they, you know, they suggest that you spec in 2 separate ways so that in combat you're not completely screwed. But I don't know, it's really fun. Check it out. It's free on Game Pass. You know, like it's free there, so check it out. It's cool. Yeah, I'll be showing it off shortly. So we'll be
The
playing
game.
a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Strictly.
Well, cool. Then let's take a little break before we hop over to Greedfall for everybody listening in the future in the audio version. We're gonna go watch Chris actually play Greedfall.